Hello and welcome back mga kapasib sa channel ko, and this is just a continuation of the last video that we had because I ran out of storage. I didn't notice the video already stopped and we have to cut it off. So ano nga ba yung last na discussion natin, paano ako nagsimula sa passive income or sa aming journey into financial freedom, financial independence, and journey to hopefully retire early. Yan na nga. So nag-start na tayo invest unti-unti sa robo-advisor, and then eventually nung naglabas nga yung ang Wealthsimple ng iba-ibang features wherein you can invest in different stocks, Canadian stocks. During that time, puro Canadian stocks lang. And eventually, nagkaroon na rin ng mga, pwede ka na rin mag-invest sa US stocks, sa tawag dito, sa Nasdaq, NYSE, yung mga yun, basta yung mga Canadian stocks, pwede na. And then nag-open na rin sila nga dun sa available na rin yung crypto sa Wealthsimple. So dun, as I go along, I do my research. If something new comes out, and kasi naka-subscribe ako dun sa mga finance app like Google, Yahoo Finance, something like yung mga yun. Yahoo Finance. I also read a lot of articles in Google or in Wall Street, parang ganyan. And yeah, talagang parang I'm slowly getting into investing seriously. Kasi nung una hindi pa naman eh. Pero before noon, na-try ko na rin yung mag-invest sa mutual fund sa bangko ko, sa CIBC. And parang yung parang walang growth, yung pera ko hindi lumago. Ang tagal ko nag-i-invest. Hindi naman kalaki yung ini-invest ko, pero I was hoping na medyo at least matapatan man lang yung performance ng stock market, ng index fund. Sabi ko, so hindi ako masaya. Ang ginawa ko, pinull out ko siya, and then yun na nga, pinasok ko siya sa Wealthsimple. Ang gusto ko lang sa Wealthsimple kasi nga parang wala na akong third party na kailangan kong pumunta sa bangko, kausapin si ganito para lang i-discuss yung aking investment strategy or to get an update onto how my investment portfolio is doing. So yun yung gusto ko. I'm in control and I can do basically whatever I want na dun sa portfolio ko. And yun nga, hindi ako happy. And then also, isama ko na rin dito yung I opened an RESP account sa mga bata, sa mga anak ko, sa isang siguro investment firm, investment institution na ang siya nasa group RESP yung inopen ko. And I diligently saved up and automatically invest my money in there for the longest time. Grabe pag tinitingnan ko yung performance, kasi meron akong online account, parang lahat ng gains na yung gain ng portfolio ng RESP account napupunta lang dun sa fee, sa mga fee ng account na yun. Ang daming binabawas. Pati yung grant na nakukuha ng RESP sa gobyerno, ganun din, parang sa kanila lang napupunta. Sabi ko, fortunately sa Wealthsimple meron ding RESP na available, pwede kang mag-open para sa kids mo. ano pa lang eh, nung time na ang tagal bago, yun nga lang, ang tagal bago ko makuha yung pera from the other institution to transfer to my Wealthsimple account. Ang tagal. Para kang ano, you're pulling out a tooth from a crocodile. Parang ganyan. Yan na nga. Simula nung nilipat ko yung account namin, RESP account ng mga bata from that institution, hindi ko napapangalanan, into Wealthsimple, mas maganda pa yung performance eh. Yun nga lang, pagka sa RESP, hindi siya yung hindi siya DIY. Parang ang ano siya, robo-advisor siya. I-set mo lang kung ano yun ang kagandahan. Just you can set your risk tolerance on your just by yourself on your fingertips via the app. So yun ang gustong-gusto ko doon. Tsaka kontrolado mo yung let's say ma-short ka ngayon, babawasan mo muna yung contribution monthly para doon sa mga bata. Magagawa mo yun at ease kasi nga ikaw na mismo nagma-manage. Yun yung nagustuhan ko. Tapos yun na nga, mas maganda pa yung performance nung RESP eh. Doon sa ang layo di hamak nung performance ng RESP namin ngayon kumpara dun sa dati naming invest ng pera na institution. So yun. So naglabas sa mga bagong features yung Wealthsimple, and then as I go along, I came across a YouTube video about passive income investing. So na-curious tayo doon. And then, cut the story short, nag-try tayo mag-invest into like covered call ETFs na available dito sa Canada. Marami, meron sa Hamilton, meron sa Harvest, meron sa Purpose. Yun yung mga investment firm na merong covered call ETF products na pwede nyong tingnan or pwede kayong mag-invest. So yun, nag-try kami. We dipped our toes, and these covered call ETFs are yun nga, mostly Canadian. Tsaka meron silang available na covered call ETFs na parang S&P 500 na, so diversified na siya. Although they also have like a sector diversified na ETFs. If you want banking covered call ETFs, meron energy, health, meron din. So yun, anyways, so yun, uti-uti nagsimula kami. I remember nung unang month namin na naka-receive ng dividends, nasa $200 lang eh. $200 lang yung na-receive naming dividend. So, pero at the back of my mind, parang sabi ko, okay na to kasi itong $200 na to, if we can sustainably make $200 each and every month, at least mako-cover na yung isa sa mga bills namin if ever we needed the money. Pero nung time na yon, hindi naman namin kailangan. So what we did is we just reinvested the dividends that we receive each month on top of the money that we put in on our portfolio. So nagko-compound siya ngayon. Nagko-compound yung interest, nagko-compound yung yun nga, yung snowball effect na tinatawag. Unti-unti na siyang pero ng mga first few months kasi since maliit pa yung portfolio and we're getting around like 12 to 14% of yield, malaki na yun kasi typically pagka lang yung dividend growth ka or pure dividends lang yung hawak mo, dividend stocks, usually yung mga yan, let's say Coca-Cola, McDonald's, ano pa ba mga nagbibigay ng dividend. Starbucks, I think Starbucks, Procter and Gamble, Johnson and Johnson, 3M, yan yung mga yan. Usually, ang binibigay lang nila na na dividend is less than 5%. And usually, yung 5% na yon, malaki na yon. Kasi sa bangko, you won't even get up 1% of return of your sa pera mo kapag nasa ordinary checking or savings account ka lang. Not unless mo siya, i-invest mo yung pera mo sa GICs. So depende sa takbo ng ng rate kung magkano yung magiging return mo. So yun na nga. And this portfolio is giving us around 10 to 12% yield per month or annually. So sabi ko malaki kasi yung S&P 500 usually dun din naglalaro yung return niya around 7 to 10%. Let's say 7%. So parang tingin ko mas maganda to kasi magagamit ko siya if I wanted to without selling the asset. So yun, nag-research ako, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, I read a lot of articles about covered call ETFs. Hindi pa rin tayo expert dyan but I just know basic I just have a basic knowledge on how it works, and na-try ko na rin nga mag-options pero hindi ko pa na-try yung trade ng covered call ETFs or ng covered call. So yun, nasa na tayo? Pure Canadian yung hawak namin. Yeah, like I said, and we're making around 10-12%. Meron din mga split funds na available like RS, which is a split fund for real estate. Like I think during the time ang yield niya around 13-14%. Malaki na 'yon. Napakalaki na 'yon. And then later on sa US may naglabas ng mga bagong product na covered call from Yieldmax. And this Yieldmax is promising investor of around like during that time insane, grabe yung yield niya. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, around 50%, more than 50% yield ang binibigay nila na yield return for your investment sa covered call ETF na to. Yun lang risky because yung una nilang ni-release is single stock, TSLY, so Tesla covered call ETF. And yun, doon na unti-unti nang dumami yung ko, kumbaga we keep on investing. Tapos yung mga Canadian holdings ko, I slowly switch it into higher yield investing na higher yield covered call ETFs. So yun, from 200 in the span of 2 years, we started making $200 Canadian per month, and up to this point we are currently making around 3,000 Canadian dollars per month, or around 2,000 more than 2,000 US dollars kasi nga etong mga hawak namin ngayon is all US dollar na to, covered call ETF. So yun yung naging journey ko, naging journey namin. Along the way, syempre merong ups and downs. Market is going up and down, right? Hindi naman laging pataas eh. Pero yun nga, pero historically speaking, ang stock market is on an uptrend. Pero yun na nga, sabi ko, meron mga time na nagka-crash ang market. Katulad no lang nung nangyari nung pandemic, nag-crash ang market, tumaas ang interest rate, blah blah blah. And naipit nga kami dito sa aming mortgage, which my wife was forced to work full-time na, and we are now renting our basement. Pero naka-recover na, and we are very optimistic dito sa journey na to kasi I can see ourselves, if everything works out, I can see ourselves hopefully retired before the age of 50. Ideally, between 47 to 50 years old. Hopefully, if everything works out. So, kasi ang typical na retirement age dito sa Canada ay 65. You can retire early at the age of 60 if you wanted to. But yun nga, I wanted my time back. Gusto ko na magawa yung mga bagay na gusto ko. The earlier, the better. The earliest possible na magagawa namin without worrying our finances, without worrying about our jobs, because you know, we rely on the holidays that we get from our jobs. And doon lang kami nakakapagbakasyon. And yun na nga, yun lang. I just like the idea of having security na anything happens to me, anything happens to my wife, I know na meron silang resources na pagkukunan na kumbaga sustainable. And ayan na nga, yun lang yung kagandahan nitong strategy na to. And marami nang gumagawa nito. I know some Filipinos are doing this already as well. And yun na nga, basta kung ano man yung strategy nyo, pwede nyo i-share, and ano ba yung mga na-try nyo na ways into generating passive income. And yeah, let's exchange ideas. Maybe we can help each other out. And I'm just sharing you our journey. And yeah, this is we still have a long way to go. Pero based on what we're getting, if we can sustain this, ang target ko by the end of this year 2025, hopefully we can generate maybe around $4,000 to $5,000 per month na passive income. Yun yung goal natin, yun yung target for this year. And yun, we're trying to balance our lives as well. Hindi naman ito lang yun ang buhay natin. Pero yun nga, ito yung binibuild ko na passive income generating asset for now, aside from our rental. And anything na any opportunity that comes our way, we'll look into it, and then we'll see. Sa ngayon, masaya ako. I have a job, my wife has a job. We are slowly building up this passive income portfolio generating asset, and nagagawa pa rin naman namin yung ang mga bagay na gusto namin somehow. Pero yun na, sabi ko, nagre-rely kami sa bakasyon ng mga bata, bakasyon ko, bakasyon ni Mrs. Kailangan sabay-sabay kami para magawa namin yung mga bagay na gusto namin, na sama-sama kami. And yan, yun lang naman. Ang gusto ko lang, I want my freedom, and I want peace of mind. That's the only goal. Free, yun yung gusto ko na ma-achieve, freedom and peace of mind. I don't want to live like a luxury lifestyle, and parang wala akong satisfaction na nararamdaman into buying material things, yung mga fancy clothes, fancy cars, yung fancy house. Okay yan if you look in yung bahay, okay yan kasi can be an investment vehicle if you know what you're doing. And yun na nga, pag nabili nyo ng at the right time yung bahay nyo or yung real estate property nyo, then maganda rin siyang investment because it's like you're forcing yourself to save because you're building up equity in the house and the property. So yun. Pero ako, as for me, I wanted to generate passive income. I want to build a passive income generating asset. Yun lang ang sa akin. If I can build up, I can buy like 4 more na rental properties, and we'll do that. Pero parang mas ideal to yung ginagawa namin na passive income investment strategy, kasi kontrolado ko lang yung I feel like I'm in control, and I don't have to worry about tenants. I don't have to worry about maintenance. So yun yung mga bagay na nakikita kong advantage nitong strategy na to. So yun, pag may idea kayo, any suggestions, comments, just let me know in the comment section below, and let's share our knowledge para makatulong tayo sa mga kababayan natin, mga kakilala natin na who is looking into making a passive income, and yun nga, kung gusto nila makapag-retire ng maaga but they're not really sure on how they will do it, and worried sila about worried sila na baka ma-short sila at hindi enough yung maging income nila pag nag-retire sila, ay yun na nga, give this a try. And I'm not saying do it, just do your own research, and if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm still early in this kind of strategy. I'm still early in this journey, still learning every day. I don't know all about this strategy. I'm still learning. I'm just sharing you my experience, our experience in this type of investing strategy. So guys, mga kapasive, maraming salamat for staying and listening and watching this video. I hope you learned something from this video, and let me know in the comment section below if you want any information, any questions. And yeah, salamat sa inyo. Peace.